Everyone has already written Turkey off. Every pundit, every prediction model, every highlight reel is treating this like a coronation for the United States. They are all wrong. Stay with me. By the end of this, you will see exactly why everyone else has this completely wrong. Here is what nobody is telling you. Turkey took 62 shots across 2 World Cup matches and scored 0 goals. 0. That is not bad luck. That is a team in complete psychological freefall. And Vincenzo Montella knows it. Because the last time a coach sent a broken, eliminated squad onto a World Cup pitch with nothing to lose against a team already celebrating, the result destroyed a seeding and ended careers. The pressure is gone from Turkey. That is not comfort. That is a detonator. If you are new here, subscribe right now. We post before and after every World Cup match. Now let's get into it. The United States does not just have momentum coming into this game. They have history. Win tonight, and Mauricio Pochettino delivers the first time in American soccer history that this program strings together 3 consecutive World Cup group stage wins. 3. People are talking about it like a footnote. It is not a footnote. For a country that spent 30 years being dismissed by the global soccer establishment, it is a statement. But here is the danger Pochettino cannot afford to ignore. He has already rested Tyler Adams, Anthony Robinson, Folarin Balogun, and Chris Richards. Pulisic is on a minutes restriction with that calf. The men who carried this team through 6 points of dominance are either watching from the bench or watching their legs. The coach who built Tottenham's identity around intensity and press is about to find out if that identity exists without the players who create it. Christian Pulisic is the player this entire American tournament lives and dies with. Not because of what he has done in these 2 group games, because of what happens to this team when he is not fully himself. Pulisic came into this World Cup managing a calf strain that nobody in the American media is taking seriously enough. He played, he contributed, he showed up. But a winger managing minutes on a calf injury in the round of 32 heat of a World Cup knockout stage is a different thing entirely from a winger managing minutes in a dead rubber group finale against an eliminated opponent. Pochettino's 4-2-3-1 requires Pulisic to press from the front and create from wide positions. If that calf tightens up tonight even 20%, the shape loses its engine. The American press becomes a suggestion, and Turkey, even a broken Turkey, will find the spaces that open up when that press slows down. Here is the stat ESPN will not show you tonight. Turkey averaged 31 shots per match in this group stage. 31. And they scored 0 goals. Their expected goals across both matches massively overperformed their actual output. The finish was not there. The conversion was nowhere. But 31 shots means Turkey are creating the chances. This is not a team that cannot play. This is a team that cannot finish. And Montella knows that the moment his strikers stop overthinking and start trusting the ball, those 31 shots become goals. Tonight, with 0 pressure and nothing to lose, that psychological block cracks. It does not disappear, but it cracks. Hakan Çalhanoğlu is 31 years old, 105 caps deep into an international career, and he has never played a World Cup match that mattered less on paper. That fact alone should terrify Pochettino. Because players like Çalhanoğlu, Inter Milan's metronome, the man who sets the tempo for an entire Champions League winning club, they do not coast through meaningless games. They use them. Çalhanoğlu will have the freedom tonight to dictate from deep without the survival anxiety that suffocated Turkey's first 2 performances. He will pick passes. He will find Arda Güler on the half-turn. He will find Kenan Yildiz in the pocket between midfield and defense. And if the player tasked with stopping him is not Tyler Adams, if Adams is rested because of yellow card accumulation, then Çalhanoğlu operates in open water against a patched American midfield. That is not a minor tactical detail. That is the entire match. Actually, wait. Before I tell you who wins this, you need to know one thing that changes everything. Vincenzo Montella has made the exact same tactical error in each of Turkey's last 2 matches. He set his team up to survive rather than to attack. Cautious shape, defensive compactness, waiting for moments rather than creating them. The result was 31 shots and 0 goals because his players were thinking about not losing instead of thinking about winning. Tonight, with elimination already confirmed, Montella cannot hide behind caution. The safety net is gone. And a coach without a safety net either finds his best football or falls completely. Watch which version shows up in the first 15 minutes. That tells you everything. The head-to-head history between these two nations does something specific to players' minds that statistics cannot fully capture. Every single one of their 5 meetings has ended with both teams scoring. Every one. USA won 2-1 in 2010. USA won 2-1 in 2014. And then, just last year, in June 2025, Turkey walked into a friendly and beat the United States 2-1. That result lives in the American dressing room tonight, whether they admit it or not. Pulisic knows it. Pochettino knows it. You do not go through a full World Cup camp without someone in that locker room remembering the last time they shared a pitch with this opponent. Turkey's players carry something into tonight that eliminated teams almost never carry. They carry recent proof that they can beat this exact opponent. That is not nothing. In a dead rubber match where the American instinct will be to manage the game, that psychological splinter becomes a problem. Remember what I said at the very start about Turkey being a detonator? Here is why that single thing changes the entire prediction. I told you the pressure being gone was not comfort for Turkey, it was a detonator. Every piece of evidence we have built through this analysis points back to that one word. Calhanoglu freed from survival anxiety. Montella finally forced to abandon caution. Güler and Yildiz playing without the weight of elimination consequences. Pulisic managing a calf on a minutes restriction behind a reshuffled American press. The USA celebrate a first-place finish before the opening whistle. That is the detonator. Complacency dressed as confidence. It does not mean Turkey wins this football match, but it absolutely means this game does not go the way the majority of pundits are predicting. The matchup that decides this game is Tyler Adams against Hakan Calhanoglu, and the question is brutally simple. Does Adams even start? Pochettino confirmed he is resting players with yellow card accumulation risk. If Adams sits, a patched American midfield faces the most experienced playmaker Turkey has produced in a generation. Adams has the engine, the press, the positioning to cut Calhanoglu's supply lines completely. Without Adams, Calhanoglu drifts into space, finds Güler on the turn, and Turkey's attack, the attack that generated 31 shots per game without scoring, finally converts. One player, one decision. That is where this match is won or lost. Here is how this ends. Pochettino rests his key men, manages Pulisic's minutes, and fields a rotation squad chasing history on a cautious game plan. Montella, finally without the suffocation of survival football, unleashes Calhanoglu and lets Güler play freely for the first time in this tournament. The American press, built around Adams and Pulisic at full intensity, runs at reduced capacity against a Turkish side playing with zero fear for the first time in 3 weeks. Calhanoglu controls the tempo in the first half. Turkey create. Turkey actually finish one. But the United States have too much quality even in rotation. Balogun's replacement finds a goal. The American depth proves real, and Pochettino's system holds enough to grind the result. USA win this football match, but not comfortably. Not the coronation every pundit is predicting. This ends USA 2, Turkey 1. The history gets made. The detonator goes off just enough to leave a scar, and every analyst who called this a walkover will spend the post-match show explaining why it was closer than they said. It always is. Drop your prediction in the comments right now. USA or Turkey? Let's see who Titan Sports audience believes in. And subscribe and hit the bell. Our post-match breakdown drops within 2 hours of the final whistle. You will want to be here for that. See you then.